Welcome to Stripes Tavern. We got all the spookiest drinks you can think of. We got Ecto Cooler. We got chocolate milk. We got blood! It's ketchup! But just pretend it's blood! Also, I wanted to dress as Mo, but I couldn't find an apron, so just pretend I'm Mo Sislak. So I just binged all the Simpsons. Great times! Even with the really big drop in quality and having more episodes than Adams in the universe, Simpsons is a super special show. Even at its lowest, it has some bright spots. The brightest sparks come from the light of a jack-o'-lantern, because their yearly Halloween specials, Treehouse of Horror, are almost always season highlights. These non-canon anthologies are always really creative, really dark. You get to see my favorite characters freaking die. It's awesome! Ever since season 2, they've consistently been once a season. So I thought, hey, I've grown the Simpsons Inception right around when I usually write my Halloween videos. I really love these episodes. Let's rank every Treehouse of Horror. Now you might think, hey, hasn't this been done a million times before? Shut up. Now, in addition to the main ones, there's also a few episodes that aren't full Treehouse of Horrors, but are close. Being Season 27's Halloween of Horror, a canned episode telling one singular story, Season 31's Thanksgiving of Horror, a Thanksgiving-based take on the anthology format, and Season 34's and Season 36's Not It, The Simpsons Wicked Wit This Way Comes, full-length parodies of It and Ray Bradbury books. These ranking will focus on the main TOHs, wait, that's an acronym for Owl House, but yeah, these are still connected, so I'm going to include them. Oh, and I'm going to call them by their actual numbers, not Roman numerals. Frick you, George, because I hate you. Hide your kids, parents. Not because anything's scary, I'm just going to eat them. This is every Treehouse of Horror ranked. I feel like most treehouses have at least some good to them. Treehouse 22 is not most Treehouse episodes, due to it being kind of garbage doo-doo. Do you want a full segment on Homer farting to talk? No? Okay, what if it randomly became a Spider-Man parody? Still no? The second a Dexter parody, but just in there's a killer way. It's the most shallow parody I've ever seen. The final parody is everyone's favorite horror film. Avatar. Do you want to see Bart have alien sex repeatedly? Do you want your head crushed by a rock? The cool thing is if you said yes or no, it applies to both questions. In this, there's this magical element named Hilarium that instantly makes anyone laugh. I can tell it wasn't used. Treehouse 17 kills Mo immediately. I reacted perfectly normal to that. Honestly, the intro's cool. I like the Crypt Keeper parody. Better than most of the episode. I think the worst thing about Flanderized Homer is the overuse of fat jokes. Like making him dumb or a jerk, it is something you can take in different ways. The joke begins and ends at, haha, he's fat. Married to the Blob is just a full segment of, haha, he's fat. This sucks. Only good joke was this.
What did we Germans ever do to deserve this? Alright.
The next segment is one big joke about Jewish people. Radical! The pickle jar joke was funny though, as is this bit with Skinner. The final one takes place during the Great Depression, and it's particularly very depressing with very few jokes. Not even the aliens can save this. What the awful?
Let's drive him out of town the way we did with the Irish.
Hey, I'm Irish!
Why is Frank such a recurring character in these? Dude barely matters at all in the actual show. It's weird that he's such a mainstay in these. Anyways, Treehouse 21 starts with him saying you can fast forward to this episode. A good sign of what's to come. Pretty sure at this point the writers have a big list of things they pull out of a hat to take over the world in the Treehouse segment. The one they pulled this time is board games. I think Rod and Todd being horrifically crushed is a clever reinterpretation of the game. They really don't do anything special besides it, but just having the pieces attack people, which is done in tons of more unique ways later. The second one, I really like the twist of it just being Maggie imagining a horrific murder scene with her parents. But besides that, it's fine. Final one is a Twilight parody. Oh boy, do I love hearing the same unfunny jokes. Yeah, I think it's the 2000s kid. Twilight parodies are the most aggressively unfunny thing ever made. Even with Edward this time having a adult head, George Lopez understands his body, but like, yeah, the Jacob equivalent turns out into a harmless dog, and Lisa immediately wants to become a vampire. Twilight parodies are written with freaking filled in Mad Libs. Yes, Daddy Frank, please fast forward. Thanksgiving of Horror is a really fun idea with a really bad execution. It's really cool they committed to being super Thanksgiving themed, but 2 of the 3 segments really just could have been Treehouse episodes. The first one is good. The entire cast is turkeys hunted by Chief Wiggum. Hearing the entire voice cast speaking in turkey noises is really funny, and it's the only one here that's actually scary. The second one though, no reason to be Thanksgiving themed. It's just an AI version of Marge cooking stuff. It's not funny or scary. Speaking of not funny or scary, the final is an alien parody with an alien being cranberry sauce. I mean, it's at least a little Thanksgiving themed, but still bad? The scariest part is the end credits with eerie music over Macy's balloon of Bart. No better way to start Treehouse 23 than have the entire cast as an ethnic stereotype. Leads to find a black hole that's slowly sucking in everything, including the cat. I noticed watching through all these, if they're gonna kill something, it's always gonna kill the cat first. It turns out the black hole is actually a portal though, and everyone is sucked into it, is fine. Leaving Maggie the only person left in Springfield. Will she likely starve to death? Great! The next one is a Paranormal Activity parody. You can guess how this goes. Unfunnily, there's a demon and he looks like Mo, but he's not Mo. This is because he's not perfection. Then there's a Back to the Future parody. You guys know Simpsons isn't big continuity. You can do non-canon stuff with it without it being Treehouse of Horror. But this ain't horror. There's no Treehouse, and the of it's questionable. Artie's if getting some attention is cool, but besides that, meh. MEH. Treehouse 28 starts with a parody of Sausage Party of all things, but it's not horror themed or particularly iconic. And my god, does it sound like Yuri Smith does not want to be here.
I can't listen to this horror!
Grab Maggie is the best candy though. The first segment has a possessed Maggie. Predictable joke, but it's decent. The second parody is a parody of Coraline. Sadly not done in full stop motion, but I do like the look of it. There's really continuity between these, and they mentioned Maggie is still possessed. I do like that Snow White's more focused here. Except sadly, he's not voiced by Keith David, he's voiced by a war criminal.
Like jazz?
Third segment sets up that this is the most disgusting segment they've ever done. And like, okay, it's not Homer farting for 7 minutes, but it's close. Homer starts eating himself. There's really a lot of gore in these episodes. He loses a lot of weight through this. Shouldn't it immediately go back to him? How does self-lore work? I want to see Buttons My Eyes too. It's easier to watch through than this. Treehouse 18 is a mixed bag. I think the E.T. parody with Kodos is fun. I'm glad they're canonically a Columbo fan. It's a fun mix of its own take and ripping on the film. Been a while since the aliens were actually part of the story. The next one though, I don't get why it's here. It's a Mr. Mrs. Smith parody. Kind of a straight parody of it with zero horror elements at all. It doesn't do anything interesting with the dynamics, it's super lame. Final one is just a desperate pull at nostalgia by bringing back Devil Flanders. Lacking the punch that had with a lamer design. Some creative ideas, but overall, it's really slow and boring. Just have more Kodos who had a good thing. I love watching adult cartoons because it's fun to look back at what was actually really big and important then that no one cares about now. Like, didn't you know that baseball stars use steroids? No, but Simpsons and South Park will make sure I do. Anyways, after Kang and Kodos destroy reality, including the universe, the outerverse, and God, these two solely reverse, we get to the first part. With a few fun gags, but overall it just kind of feels controlled apart. They should have fully killed Homer, to be honest. The next one is a fun idea, but I kind of wish we saw more of the gang trying to survive Burns' hunt. Because come on, Willie was solo Burns.
Nah, you missed me!
It's just kind of boring, to be honest.
The boredom is excruciating.
Skinner was shown in the diner at the beginning, but is never shown after, so I like to assume he has survived. He shall see another ham. Final one has a witch curse everyone to be their costume. A really cool idea, but just kind of ends. A little lame. Also, I definitely heard this line wrong, right?
That's the answer! Maggie's a real bitch!
Anyways, here's the worst age joke in Simpsons history.
And I'm Jared from the Subway ads. I'm only a little overweight and sexually ambiguous.
Treehouse 27 marks the 600th episode. So it starts with all of the family's enemies coming together to kill them. Weird thing is, they originally planned to have Russ Cargill from the movie as part of this. For some reason, he was cut. Maybe because they couldn't get Albert Brooks.
In hell, they make you watch them all in a row.
It's true. I visit there very frequently. My uncle works there. Also, I'm the devil. The next segment is about the weird dual parody of Hunger Games and Mad Max. It's lame. Besides this.
I'm a god in this reality!
The next segment is about Lisa's imaginary friend killing all her real friends. At one point, she throws a knife at Marge, but Snowball 2 intercepts it and dies. But no one really notes that at all or realizes he's dead. I watched this less than a week after my own cat died, who's also a black cat. I don't like this segment. The Simpsons writers realized the horrible mistake they made, and as an apology to specifically me, made a segment all about Moe being a James Bond parody. And gay for Homer. Yeah, this one's pretty funny, and the fight scene at the end is pretty cool. Just gonna go over the second segment. Shout out to Shadow, I miss you, buddy. That's depressing, let's go back to Gay Moe. I sure love them repeating the exact same bit they did literally 2 Treehouses ago. Anyways, Treehouse 30 is the 666th episode, and it's fairly scary. scary and how bad it is. Just like how bad your mom is. She's very hot. Please give me her number. The first one is a Stranger Things parody. Make a joke about how this was written before season 3, and yeah. The only jokes here are the 80s, the Christmas light scene, and the Upside Down. It's super surface level. I do like how one of the monsters in Upside Down is just Mo. Just normal Mo. Homer dies in the next segment. You can see an opportunity to body swap. I like when he's in Chalmers' body and he tells Skinner to give himself a purple nurple. The immediate next frame has Skipper shirtless. He was waiting for that command. Then there's when Harry meets Slimy. A pretty fun parody of The Shape of Water. Stelma and King start smooching and then they fall in love, and it's so cute and romantic. I love when my fellow green skin-billed squid creatures fall in love. For some reason, King is just the thing he got in the tube, by the way. It's never explained, it's never noted on, he just has it. I'm telling you, he still is your favorite verse. I'm glad we all know Abe's Smash Man. Treehouse 19 has a cute joke of Abe getting oxygen as a present and then dying in the background. Radical! Bart gets Lisa a Transformers toy for Christmas. It turns out everything a Transformer. I think seeing more of the transformations, giving them more unique forms would be cool, but it just immediately goes into a generic Transformers parody. The next statement has Homer become a hired killer of celebrities. Starts fun, then just comes another zombie apocalypse story. I expect a lot of these. I'm glad they finally confirmed Abe Lincoln was gay. We all saw it.
That ad implies that Mr. Lincoln and I are betraying familiarities. It's an outrage.
Yes.
The final is a Charlie Brown parody. I think the backgrounds look really nice to look at, more than the original short. But just guess the punchline. Yep, Milhouse summons a Ray Pumpkin, and he's actually an evil monster who attacks everyone. This is a Robot Chicken bit. The racist pumpkin joke though is hilarious though. That put it a bit higher.
Touch me and I'll cut your friend.
What do I care? That's a yellow pumpkin.
You're a racist!
Also, King covers his cameo with just some dancing. That's cute. Treehouse 14 starts with Bart being adopted by King Kodos. How wholesome! They ate the family, by the way. The first main segment, the Ned Zone, has Ned gaining the ability to see when people die, which when he does so, it does this. This is good.
That's better.
We get something truly terrifying with the next one. British people. Not really horror themed, doesn't even really have a mystery either. Pretty mid. Did have King Kodos mutton chops though, so it's not all bad. Third one is a Fantastic Voice parody. You've seen one, you've seen them all. I'm glad they debunked the Ant-Man Thanos thing though. It doesn't get lower because it has Nolan dancing with a gator. Treehouse 10 starts with the aliens and the brutal death of Lisa. That's how you know it's going to be kind of okay, I guess. We don't get a banger just by having a banger intro. Marge hits Ned with her car. I really hate writing videos 2 months in advance. I don't know if the ads for me are so relevant. But it's good, because Ned is a werewolf. This is kind of confused. It starts with a parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer, then it's a werewolf story, then Homer dies. Kind of weird. The next one has Bart and Lisa gain superpowers. We're gonna fight a supervillain. Comic book guy, an evil kidnapper named the Collector. Something, TOH, Collector, 2 nickels. This is the first time they do a statement that's not horror themed. And all the jokes are about Xena, which I've never seen. The final one is about Y2K. A lot of people thought electronics weren't going to go through the next year after 1999. Causing horrific calamity. Simpsons has had better apocalypse episodes before and since. Aside of a quick joke with Krusty, it's kind of whatever. The intro to Treehouse 12 actually has a pretty good mix of comedy and horror. Costumes of the family are next references, and Smithers freaking explodes. The segments, though, First one is about the fortune teller cursing the family. So Marge becomes Sully, and Bart becomes a giraffe. Sadly, they don't have a lot of particularly funny jokes in this one. Mo dies, and everyone's gonna react perfectly normal to this. They had a leprechaun for some reason, and now they're married. It's whatever. I'm kind of tired of Smart House parodies, but the Simpsons take on it is pretty fun. Mostly thanks to the third best James Bond being the voice of the house. Also, I like Stanton at the start. The final one is a parody of Harry Potter. Kinda. This is before the first movie. They didn't really cover the series aside of the generic take of being at a magic school. This doesn't specifically tie to the series. It's also not really super horror themed. Harry Potter's in a scary franchise. Aside of the creator.
It's J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter books.
I do like Slithers. I work heavy with Slithers. Right at the top, there's 22 minutes of Slithers. The first segment has Homer die for eating broccoli. Okay, so this is the only time I can talk about this. Back in, I don't know, 2nd grade, I think, I was in class, and we were reading a book called, How to Pervert Something along those lines. And the book was about a kid reading a book about how to be perfect. The book had 3 rules, like 3 ways to be perfect. The first one was don't eat for a day. Third was just do nothing for a day. And the whole thing was like, you can't do nothing, it's impossible to do nothing. Just like how it's impossible to be perfect, that's fine. But the second way to be perfect was for an entire day, wear a piece of broccoli around your neck. And on the first time we did it, everyone said, oh, I didn't eat, I didn't eat. I didn't believe anyone. They definitely ate. The next day, everyone in my class came to school wearing broccoli around their neck, except me. And I was bullied because I didn't wear broccoli on my neck. And ever since that day, I refused to eat broccoli. I am broccoli racist. Anyways, Treehouse 11 has nothing really special about it. Homer goes to Hazard Hotel for like the 5th time. The next one finally confirms that Bart and Lisa's hair really is part of their body. Also, they're in a fantasy world and are abandoned by their parents. There's way better fairy tale parodies. They don't have Moe as a troll, so this gets a pass, I guess. Final has dolphins take over the Earth. Honestly, pretty funny with some good kills. It is insanely dark. Though I do kind of wish they addressed that Lisa saved the king. Feels like I could have added a bit more to the story. Also, I wish the sea captain wasn't immediately killed when it was hinted that he could combat the dolphins. These are the characters that need more attention. It's the best of the episode, but isn't even the best take on evil dolphin. Dr. Blo's supremacy. Winter 26 is drawn by John K. So yeah, it sucks. This is an episode with a gruesome child death. But the scariest thing is how everything moves here. This is supposed to be Frank Grimes, by the way. The first segment has Sideshow Bob finally kill Bart, but gets bored and decides to revive and then kill him again and again. Yeah, it's pretty funny and decently scary. Also, thank God they used Bob without the unfunny rape gag. I didn't think it could be done. Also, Bob talked about how the creator of Cats couldn't be more insulted after someone couldn't recognize one of their poems. You don't even know, dog. The next segment is a Godzilla parody with Homer. It's pretty clear that it's only done because the Kong parody was popular. All the characters now talking in stereotypical Asian accents, though, is just great! I love racism! Having Homer's roar just be Homer screaming, though, is really funny. The final was a Chronicle parody, where Lisa and Milhouse get superpowers. There's a few funnies here, but yeah, as Crane Kodos say, just because it looks like season 4 doesn't mean the writing is good as those seasons. That's the first one, that season. Treehouse 32 decides to do something different with having 5 shorts instead of the normal 3. Sadly, it's the biggest culprit of being just straight film parodies rather than something clever and scary. Start with a Bambi parody. They bash you over the head with, get it? It's Disney! Disney can be dark! Get it? Get it? The animation is pretty good though, and honestly I like how it's fairly accurate to the cartoon. After that is a Parasite parody, which honestly just feels like they was made to set up a big action scene. That's rad enough. There's a lot of thing is now alive and kills everyone stories in Treehouse, but making them actual treehouses is kind of clever. I bet Audrey 2 is just here for some reason. Wait like 3 weeks, I'll get to you later. I love Chainsaw Man. Next one is done in a really cool style with Bart killing all his family members before Maggie kills the narrator. Not super scary or funny, but really well animated. Finally is a Ring parody where watching TikTok kills you. So, just TikTok. Episode 24 easily picks with his intro. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro, referencing tons of his own movies and general horror iconography, while also keeping in line with the structure of the original intro. After that, there's nothing like bad. Far from the best good old homie Simpsons has to offer. Starting with a freaked out parody of Dr. Seuss. Homer plays a cat in the hat, who this time is a kidnapper and serial killer. So not the worst thing I've seen the cat do.
I heard toot farting.
Or the second worst.
Just don't let me ever be played by Mike Myers.
Nothing is funny here, but I do like the new art style. That is one where Bart gets his head cut off. OMG, dead Bart, hi! They do this gag early in an earlier Treehouse episode and it's way funnier. The final has Mr. Burns as the ringleader of a circus full of freaks, where a strong man, Homer, tries to kill Moe to inherit his wealth, because for some reason Moe has an emerald ring. They then mutilate Homer.
And that, kids, is How I Met Your Mother.
The standalone special Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes has the family go to the circus, where a magic tattooed man retells stories based around the books of Ray Bradbury. It's pretty memorable for being the last time Pamela Hayden voices Milhouse and Jimbo Jones, who's been voicing them since the show started. Say they don't appear that much here, but hey, it's pretty notable. The first thing is about Bart hearing a screaming woman buried, and no one believes him there's someone under there. It's a decent one actually, yeah, I like it. The next one is my favorite of the 3, focusing on Superintendent Chalmers. character really does anything besides scream Skinner and try steamed hams. Charmer gets a robot to replace himself. The ending of Skinner trying to pick between a real and fake Charmers, and Skinner assumed it's a real one that screams Skinner and thought him as a real one. But no, Skinner accidentally killed the real one and now respects Seymour. That's a pretty good one. The final one parodies Fahrenheit 451. Listen, I like throwing some respect to a not super talked about author, but these aren't really horror, you know? Well, instead of needing to destroy all the books, they're all destroying lowbrow entertainment and keeping only challenging media. It actually has a message of pro-silly mindless comfort shows, a relevant time of misery and angst that people watch wipe out. Pretty fun, honestly.
Bazinga.
Treehouse 35 starts an intro done by Jorge Rivera, the creator of El Tigre and Book of Life. And it's really cool. I love this guy's style. The first is this Pacific Rim parody of the right and left political systems become kaiju. Bart and Lisa, who do different political views, need to come together to pilot a mech to fight them. It doesn't say much, nor is it funny or scary, besides for Joe Rogan appearing. The next one finally gives Mr. Burns comeuppance after he usually avoids bad fates. In the far past, Burns runs a syrup factory and refuses to feed his workers, who later die in an accident. Besides Mo, he died because he's an idiot. The burnt ghosts are actually really scary. This is a decent one. The final one is a parody of Venom, with Homer getting a pair of parasitic genes. The Venom genes confirm they feed off Homer's farts. Thank God the pants were barely animated, or else I had to put this lower. I mean, you know how much I love talking about penises, but this is too much for me. Unlucky number 13 comes in with a pretty favorable intro, but a pretty decent first segment. Set in the Clones also has some pretty decent funny clone jokes. Like Peter Griffin as a clone, that's funny. Also, as creepable as the scare is, Homer clone holding the decapitated Flanders head was the first time in a while I was actually scared by these. The mass Homer slaughter is a fun mix of humor with reused does, even if it's pretty disturbing. The Fright the Creep and Scare Harms is a banger title. The actual episode is just kind of plots we've seen before. This wants to help out, but it leads to a takeover. Homer time travels, a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, it's not super special.
Ha! Now to get me some caveman hookers.
Island of Dr. Hibbert is a fun idea that's honestly a bit rushed. I do like giving Dr. Hibbert of all characters a focus, and it's fun to see all the different animal versions with a few clever nods. It's decent. Dude, I love Tusk.
Why am I always so funny when no one's around?
How it feels to run a YouTube channel and only 5 people watch. Not It is the first special episode of Treehouse, being a full parody of It. I mean, I get it. They got a clown, you got a clown, now it's a parody. We got a young version of the adult cast. I got everyone is notably younger, but most still looks like a middle-aged man. While focusing more on the parody aspect, which isn't super funny, they do actually have some good scares with Crusto's different forms and some decent jump scares. If they focus more on the scares than the pretty mediocre comedy, they might have ranked higher.
I'm down. Ooh. Yeah, that's my fetish now.
I like the ending with fan submitted content of Krusty. That's a nice detail with some pretty scary drawings. In this universe, comic book guy marries Marge instead of Homer. This is someone's OTP, and they're going absolutely feral right now. I'm so glad we found out Ken Codos are huge Christmas fans. Thank you, Treehouse 14. The first one is pretty decent. Homer kills Death after he comes for Bart. Oh, come on! What did Bart do to deserve death? Besides for... Yep, still going. Yep, still going. I hate this child. I like that Jasper is just friends with the Grim Reaper. The probably the reason he lived so long is because the original Reaper just likes him. That's cute. He's dead now. The next one is a pretty okay one of Frank bringing back his dead dad, who starts collecting body parts from people. The only real notable part is that the dad is voiced by Jerry Lewis. The brace is for Frank's design and voice. The final one has Bart and Milhouse finding a stopwatch that stops time, but eventually their pranks get caught and everyone tries to kill them. Why don't they just stop time and leave the room before everyone sees them? God, this non-canon comedy episode has a plot hole! Yeah, it's decent. More child murder. Like, if there's no child murder, is it even Treehouse of Horror? Good old 29 has a return of the tombstones and I clapped. Cthulhu is the focus of the intro, where he loses to Homer in eating contests. Okay, pretty fun. The first segment has the guy that ripped out Bill Gates that one time announced to everyone that there's a new iPhone out, which the army groups were using to distract people for their mind control. It's just a way to bring them to a utopia, which ripped off in a different treehouse. Lou Loki the goat, he's kind of locked in for like 53 seconds. After that, the parody is split. Honestly, it really only stands out to how great Lisa's performance is here. She does a really good job of playing all these different personalities. Millhouse is paper now. The final one is a Jurassic Park parody about old people. This was stolen from Naked Gun. But honestly, the ending is cute and dinosaurs are cool! Treehouse 25's intro having the mangled corpses of a bunch of guest stars spell out the title was one of the first times I was both scared and laughing at something in a treehouse in a while. Start with Bart and Lisa being sent to the underworld. Turns out there's a school there, where Bart enrolls in. And actually does super well in because he's evil and stuff. Speaking of stuff, I have no idea what hot stuff is, but I can tell someone on the writing staff has a raging hate boner for this thing. Also, Burns has a pull at the underworld, as most billionaires have. The next one has Mo as a British man. It's like mixing ice cream and dog poop. It's a parody of Clockwork Orange, before just kind of saying frick it, and suddenly they're including references to all of Stanley Kubrick's films. It's kind of confused, but it's fun, and it stars Mo! The final one is about the original designs of the family coming to hunt them as Homer falls in love with the old Marge. Pretty fun throwbacks to the original designs. I enjoy Willie randomly appearing to take the corpses of Bart and Lisa, alongside being heavily implied to kill Maggie. That really got me. Then there's a bunch of, hey kids, do you know this? Do you understand this reference? Do you get the thing? Do you see the thing? Okay, the different anime characters are actually kind of cool. They do kind of dig deep there. Unlike the Adventure Time one, 2 Fionas, but no Marceline? Minnie and Homer. Minnie and Homer. Treehouse 31 starts with just kind of a lesser version of a Treehouse election gag. Fun callback with Candace being King Kodos though. Toy Gory put Bart in the role of Sid from Toy Story. Tortures his toys before they kill him. I've seen this joke a billion times. But I got CG, that's a nice touch. Bart idolizes Radioactive Man. Him putting him in the microwave as a betrayal character, he wouldn't freaking do that. I hate The Simpsons! The Simpsons betrayed us! Also there's a warning saying to never buy toys. I am part of the problem. We got a required multiverse story with Homer summoning 5 other versions of himself. All very fun takes that get just enough screen time. The fight between them and Burns are fun too. I like that anime Homer is a generic samurai with anime-esque features, and game Homer is just 8-bit, but game Burns is literally just Bowser, and anime Burns is Dr. Wheelo of all characters.
Eat lead, Ned.
I forgive you.
Also, Snagglepuss Homer running away when he kissed a woman is a very subtle nod to Snagglepuss being gay. The final statement has Lisa stuck in a time loop on her 9th birthday. Of course, to constantly die until she, and Nelson is also there, finds a way to break it. Pretty fun statement with creative ways to kill Lisa and Nelson. Also, overall, while this episode does truly veer away from the horror aspect of Treehouse Horror, it's a pretty solid set of segments. Treehouse 20 has classic horror monsters dressed as more modern costumes, like Iron Man, Jack Sparrow, SpongeBob, and Transphobia. The first main segment I think is fun for keeping Bart mostly in character. He's still a silly prankster who's super naive, his parents are just more murdery. Also, there's some fun trippy visuals. Part 2 is a zombie apocalypse story. Oh goody! I don't know where I'm gonna rank this. I just know there's like 50 previous zombie apocalypse stories. This is probably the scariest one though. And one with a happy ending, that's nice. Homer's still dead. Shout out to that one scene where Hibbert is just soloing all the zombies. Dude, he's so cool. Final one is a really cool Sweetie Todd parody. It's a musical, presented as an actual stage musical, with an audience, stage traditions, and people swapping out outfits. It's a really cool presentation with some fun songs. It doesn't slip out in the horror either. Homer in the distillery is pretty creepy. It's almost as cool as Hibbert's scene. I'm serious, it's so raw. Treehouse 8 finally discusses something actually scary. TV censorship.
Stupid hippo.
So for the first short starts with this.
I stand by my ethnic slur.
Yep, still relevant. Because the French want to bomb us, Homer buys a bomb shelter, which calls a bomb shelter a nader. I know different versions made this. So yeah, every character we love gets nuked besides Homer, who's in the shelter. Comic book guy is me making this video.
Oh, I've wasted my life.
Yeah, they really start dark. And honestly, it's kind of depressing knowing that Homer immediately realizes his family is gone and breaks into tears. I'm glad Chris Fry movies survived though, as did a bunch of others who mutated. Freaked. Or monstered. Out to rid the world of the remnants of humanity. The freaks though realize their errors upon Homer finding his living family. Sadly, Marge is racist. The next one is Homer by a teleporter, which is actually set up to a Fly parody. Kind of just a more comedic take at something that I've already seen a billion more comedic takes on, but it's still pretty funny. Gets taking points off though for showing a big spider. I assume this was a cat dog reference, but it actually predates it. Holy frick, Simpsons really does predict the future. The third one is fun, because even though Marge is the villain of this one, I like that she still acts like Marge. Unlike most of the villainous takes on characters where the whole joke is the opposite of what they normally are. I also like that they kill Agnes. Oh yeah, the bonus ones, I forgot about those. Well, most of the non-official Treehouses are pretty mixed. Halloween of Horror is pretty fun, actually. This is an actual canon episode of Lisa going to a Halloween theme park and being extremely scared by it, not wanting nothing to do with the holiday. Homer also caused some pop employees to lose their job, who swear revenge on him. It's also a really cute episode. Having a more grounded take on Halloween helps it be even scarier than most Treehouses. I really relate to Lisa being so scared of the holiday, and 3 vengeful employees actually here to kill Homer is pretty scary. There's a few good jokes, a fun still thought with Bart. It's a pretty fun episode. Now, do I need to see Naked Barney? Yes. We started with Homer getting set on fire. I can vibe with this. Also, Grim Reaper Couch Gag is one of my favorites. Treehouse 7 is really fun. It did give us the third best Simpsons meme ever. You can't beat steamed ham or the dud, but like, Hipper punching through a frame is funny, which he does because Bart's tricked up evil twin, who's actually better than him, is back to replace him. And as I said, despite being a little gremlin, he's actually like better than Bart, and replaces old Bart with him. Matt Groening turns to the camera to say, "This is canon, actually." The next one has Lisa's tooth gets mutated to a science experiment and develops a little town. It's fine, not phenomenal, but it's pretty creative. What is super funny, King running for president. The first good potential candidate we've had in decades. It's so awesome and funny, and King, everyone covers as a girl now. Congrats to her. Yeah, it's kind of just fine overall, but it did have Dr. Hipper punching people, so it's kind of peak. There's something so quaint about the first Treehouse of Horror. The only time out of all 35 of these, title actually makes sense. This is the framing device of the kids telling stories in the treehouse. It also starts with Marge telling the audience that this isn't for kids. It's so weird to see an adult cartoon say this. The Simpsons is a weird place in terms of audience. The first story is Bad Dreams House, a pretty fun way to start these. Patty moves into a house on Indian burial ground, and it's really pretty calm. The ghost haunting this is just kind of a chill guy. I'd hang with him as he hangs Bart. I like how slowly everyone walks to Bart as he's screaming in pain. Also, the line from Homer is really funny read. I like it.
What's this thing in the corner?
I don't know.
Family offers to live with the house, who then instantly kills himself. Dude, you're not gonna be happy about this? But we all have to live with this. The show's gonna outlive us all. Next event revolutionizes Simpsons forever. That's the only funny fat Homer joke ever. It also introduces the alien duo, who, as you can tell from me constantly noting their appearances, I really love King and Kodos. They're among my favorite Simpsons characters. And it brings us all for the first time here. I really like the interpretation of them actually just being genuinely nice here. The next episodes have them as evil, world-destroying monsters. This is kind of a fun twist. Weirdly, there was a third alien here. Dude just freaking lost media, I guess. The final one is the Raven. Appreciate adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's book, but has a really great atmosphere, and also Raven Bart just kind of slays me. Why do you like that? Really looking back at these, they aren't wacky or scary, but again, they're a pretty fun way to start this trend off. Treehouse of Horror 2 has a setup of being candy-induced nightmares of Lisa, Bart, and Homer. Lisa's nightmare is the origin of this freaking gift that Twitter loves. Actually, this is the origin of a lot of the rules of Monkey Paw. Like, do you know the reason most stories from Monkey Paws use 4 wishes because of this episode? It's fun looking back at these episodes and seeing how just kind of nice things are. Like, it ends with all cute, nice ending where everyone lives. That's not the Treehouse of Horror way. You know, it says Kate and Kodos as dreams of Lisa. And first time has a story made by Bart. Kind of funny that Bart's story is them as genuinely nice guys. But Lisa wanted the stereotypical take. That racist monster. Mo saves the day because he's awesome. What the base? I like the second one has a pretty simple premise. What if Bart was God? Everyone terrified of pissing off the Almighty One is really funny. Even if it gives us the scariest thing of all time. Front-facing Mo Sizlak. At least a really cute ending though. Honestly, there's a lot of nice moments here. Bart letting Lisa think with him when she's scared, that's sweet. Also, oh my god, remember when they could make jokes with Otto that weren't him being a pothead? I miss my son. The final one is Burns putting Homer's brain into a robot. And those came up before, but my brain was screaming that one Sponder episode this whole time. It's a pretty decent one. What really makes it hit is the funny twist of this actually being real as Burns gets crushed, and his head gets then slapped into Homer's body. Honestly, I should have just made it canon, to be honest. Makes him and Smithers a 3-way, and I am okay with that. The intro to Treehouse of Horror 9, someone got Robert Englund to voice one line as Freddy Krueger. I respect that. Something I like about Treehouse of Horror is they give focus to more minor characters, with the first one giving Snake Jailbird more of a role. After being sent to death, Snake returns vengeance on the 3 witnesses to his crime, and later his hair attaches to Homer, who carries his murders on. This is where they really get gory with kills. Apu and Mo's deaths are pretty brutal, and the dynamic they give Homer and Bart is sweet, but also funny. Part 2 is Lisa and Bart transported into a cartoon. Gross. Specifically itchy and scratchy. Well, that's implied they're actually friends and actors, that's cute. So is graphic child murder. The bit of rerunning the piranhas is fun, I like that. The final is Starship Poopers. Oh, this is gonna suck. It stars King Kodos. Yeah, boy! Yeah, this is a fun one. About King actually being Maggie's father. The way King has sex is to shoot you with a ray gun. Finally, a sex scene for me! It's funny, King is awesome and cool, and Maggie having a deep voice made me do a big old knee slap. Good episode. Treehouse 35 immediately makes me think I'm going to hate it by being about NFTs, but shockingly, this is the one good thing to come from the trend. Springfield Museum has a new exhibit that creates NFTs of real people, with Bart being sent into the NFT space, with Margie needing to go into it to rescue him, becoming then a Snowpiercer parody. The fight scenes are pretty fun, the Ralph House fusion is creepy, it points out for them having an NFT monkey are more flashbacks. 8, a parody 7, is easily the highlight. Probably possibly the goriest segment they've ever done, with it starting with a very accurate recreation of Cape Fear, before suddenly shifting to Bob brutally murdering Bart, traumatizing Lisa. She later gets called in 30 years later to help with a case of firstborns being killed, eventually with her having to ask Sideshow Bob for help. This is when I realized, wait, wasn't Bob the younger twin? It's actually a really good mystery, with genuinely scary kills, a great reveal, and the last time since Cape Fear, a Bob rape joke was actually funny. The final one, Outbreak, is probably the best zombie-esque story they did, with Homer eating contaminated donuts, slowly mutating everyone around him into clones of himself, besides the kids who are immune. And Moe, since he made his own suit and is having the time of his life with the whole town being his customer. Homer version of everyone is really funny. I like Krusty doesn't change. There's someone out there who thinks Homer Marge is the hottest thing ever. Good for you. Treehouse 33 starts fine enough. It's a fairly standard parody of the Babadook with a nice twist that people don't die. That's actually pretty refreshing. The scares in this episode work, but it's only because it works in everyone's favorite gay pride film, where it's listed directly from. With that said, the next two segments are among Treehouse's best, even if they're more recent. Death Tone is a parody of Death Note, done with the help from the Universal Studio who animated it, having a certainly striking art style that translates several characters into a really fun anime look, and really committing to that by having the animation done first, then having the actors record, like how anime dubs are done. Lisa's kills are really funny and creative, recreating scenes with anime creatively, among the best individual segments in all ways, and proof modern Simpsons can still be pretty good. Well, not as great. Simpsons World is another banger. Parody of Westworld. A Homer animatronic at a Simpsons themed attraction becomes sentient, taking revenge on the people who keep him there. It's a really sweet story too, since the robot family loves each other arguably more than the real family. And there's a really cute joke where Homer says he's going to pick the hottest Marge, only for the next scene to show the full family with Marge in her normal outfits. I like that joke about how unfunny the hedge meme is. How did it kill them though? It's then revealed they were actually stuck in a world full of themed world cartoon characters. The scariest thing in this world considers Big Mouth a notable enough show to include a whole world around it. This truly is a hexscape. Treehouse of Horror 3 starts with Maggie stuck in a bone pacifier. How does that work? Does the pacifier have a bone too? The first segment starts references to gremlins! Oh my god, gremlins! I freaking love gremlins! The that's good, that's bad exchange gives me life. I love that. The main crux of the first story is Homer getting a Krusty doll that's haunted. This is a perfect mix of absolutely hilarious and genuinely scary. It's great.
That doll is evil, I tells ya. Evil! Evil!
Grandpa, you said that about all the presents.
I just want attention.
Also, epic foreshadowing of Patty being a lesbian 12 years before it was canon. Shout out to gay people. The next one is a parody of King Kong. And absolutely no one is more qualified to discuss this than me. I am a Kong connoisseur. Connoisseur, if you will. Anyways, Lenny gets bored. This is mostly just a straight adaptation of King Kong. Just, you know, funny. Homer does eat a child, that's kind of what these things have been missing. A pisses himself. Can't go wrong with old man piss. The final short starts with Bart reading a book, the horror! Also, zombies are attacking, Homer's packing. We can all agree this is like a top 10 Simpsons joke, right?
Dad, you killed the zombie Flanders.
He was a zombie?
Yeah, classical ones get better each season. Even if the King Coast appearances for this one is kind of lame. See me after class. Treehouse 6 has a Krusty jump scare. The first one is about advertising mascots killing everyone. I think that Lord Lad has a genuine reason to be mad. But the neon sign guy just kills a bunch of people who are cheering him on. Dude's more evil than Griffith. You know, weirdly, Mr. Peanut eating people is only the second worst thing he's done. It's a super creative idea though, but also smart to reference how advertising is the most evil thing ever created. Today's sponsor is also sad whenever they kick the dog. Frick you for that, Lard Boy. The second is genuinely in my top 5 individual segments of Treehouse of Horror. Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace. A parody of Nightmare on Elm Street, But like newer Treehouse parodies that just do the parody and that's it, it takes the story in a very unique direction, with a really cool ways they morph Willy. Complete with honestly the scariest thing in any of these, in my opinion. The Burnt Willy. I love this one so much, that's the reason it's so high. This is great. The final one, though, is also a banger. Homer now goes into the third dimension, with animation done by Pacific Data Images, or as they're known now, DreamWorks. I'm a sucker for cartoons using different art styles. This is made for me. Like they put in Stretch Out Homer specifically for me, even though it didn't even exist yet. This is Mario Odyssey, I think. Just an extremely solid selection here. And that's in humor, horror, and creativity.
It's a cake, son.
The scariest thing about Treehouse 4 is Maggie without a pacifier. It looks so wrong. The first one is among the most iconic shorts Toe has. I shouldn't say Toe as like abbreviation because it sounds weird. TOH has frick. The one with Devil Flanders. It's just a naturally hilarious idea to have the overtly Christian Ned as Satan, with every joke building off the other. The second one has gremlins. Oh my god, gremlins! I really love that this creature isn't based on a pre-existing character. He's an original character that fits perfectly in this world. And he kills Ned, because he's stronger than Satan. That's power scaling. Maturing and realizing Groundkeeper Willie is the funniest character in the show. He gets one line per episode, and every one of them is a banger. And the aliens are in the statement, okay, that's my favorite of the bunch. We then get this scene that's basically unavoidable online, and we get a pretty solid part with vampires. Yeah, not much to say about this one. It's funny. The round peanut spit always gets me. I know it's kind of generic to pick this as the best Treehouse of Horror, but frick you, there's a reason 5 is peak for Treehouse. Like, how could you say no to among the first things we see being Moe hanging? I love that. The shinning is something horrifying. Smithers' glasses going through his eye. I hope someone gets fired for that blunder. It's just a really funny take on The Shining. Like how it has Bart kill a hedge. He hates the name as much as I do. You know, I forgot how nice and expressive the old episodes are. They mush Homer's face so greatly. We also got the funniest running gag of all time. Freaking murdering Groundskeeper Willie. Him brushing it off only to immediately kneel over is hilarious every single time. Time travel is a really funny idea when you want it to be. And this next segment really exemplifies that. Different worlds Homer goes to are always funny. Moe's there, Willie dies again, Homer going insane and trying to make the world as bad as possible is great. I wish we all had lizard tongues. Aliens are there again, peak. The final one is easily the darkest of all the shorts. But dude, it's so freaking good. It doesn't pull any punches with its scares, really taking Skinner and the staff to disgusting levels. But also, whether they horrifically butcher all these beloved characters are also really funny and clever. Also, you think Willie's finally gonna do something, but nope.
Ow! Ugh, I'm bad at this.
The best way to make a good episode is to simply beat your Willie. This is what you get for being only the second best Willie in cartoons. But hey, the random dance scene is a cute way to end this phenomenal episode. Even has Willie not freaking die, you love to see it. It's got everything. It's the funniest, the scariest, the williest, and it's both easily my favorite Treehouse of Horror and my favorite Simpsons episode of all time. And that was every Treehouse of Horror ranked. Very fun line of episodes. I was really happy I was able to get my Simpsons video out super soon. Thanks for watching, and what the frick? This is in the 90s. I don't have a house phone. Hello?
Big mistake, pal.
Okay, so we're here for like 800 episodes, 9 Crazy Jane shorts, a movie, a theme park ride, and a bunch of commercials. Who are you?
I got another problem.
I'll have you know, young man, I have caller ID. It's on my mobile phone, not my house
Just
phone.
give me
Like,
the-
ah!
Hello? Yes?
Hey Homer, Mo turned me into a PNG.
We'll be killing every human in 2 days. We'll be killing every human in 2 days.